Hi folks, want to tell you about a cool toy store I visited a couple of months ago near the corner of Thomas and Front Street in the town of Strathroy, Ontario, just outside of London. It's the Sidekick Hangout, and if you've been missing conventions, then this is basically the convention experience in a toy shop. There's a big window display with all sorts of different 80s toys, modern toys, lots of wrestling toys at the Sidekick Hangout. Grogu? No, that's not Grogu. Lots of Star Wars in here and other pop culture collectibles like Betty Boop, who somehow has gotten a hold of the Infinity Gauntlet, and comics as well, plus a Snake Mountain in the window.
Hey everyone.
When you come into the store, you're greeted by a good brother. It's Rob. They've also got an assortment of plush as well. They've got the old Alfer and some classic Care Bears, as well as Betty Boop, and some artwork as well to hang on your wall. Plus some dolls, and of course Funko Pops. Wonder Woman 84 just came out, so you gotta have some Wonder Woman merch there. There's a giant Grogu. I never expected the biggest Funko Pop I've ever seen to be Grogu. Huge wrestling assortment here, lots of classic LJNs for only $10 Canadian each. If you're handy with a paintbrush, this would be a great restoration project. And he's got the greatest of all time, yeah! Plus some of the smaller WWF Hasbro and WCW Galoob figures. And to really get that toy convention experience, there's a giant bin filled with random figures that you can hunt through. Lots of carded figures, robots in disguise from Transformers, more wrestling carded figures from when Jakks had the license. And some Marvel Select figures. Rest in Power, Black Panther. And then there's also a huge comic section as well. Lots of old comics and bins to choose from. And they sit atop some really cool vintage Star Wars tablecloth. Buck Rogers, you don't see that very often in toy shops. Love these old Spider-Man figures. This is one of the best figures of the 21st century. Spider-Man with the wrestler Spider-Man outfit. And some more newer stuff. Oh, there's a Rider on the Storm, Jim Morrison. Sons of Anarchy figure. And some of the Super 7 vintage style He-Man figures. Plus some older 2000X He-Man figures. Some cool Marvel miniatures. And they're only $10 each. The thing I really like about this store is that almost everything is labeled with a price. One thing that really irritates me pretty quickly is having to ask, how much is this? How much is that? 10 times in like 5 minutes. So I appreciate that everything has a price tag on it. And Grogu? Nope, still not Grogu. A life-sized Master Yoda in a really beautiful display case. And some really gorgeous Marvel statues. And there's 90s Star Wars, just like every toy convention you've been to. Power of the Force 2. Wow, those are the second biggest Kenner Star Wars figures I've ever seen. That's a little shout out to Monkey Island fans. And I remember having all of these Power of the Force 2 Star Wars figures. It was so exciting when they first came out. And then some of the later green card releases. And the 6-inch Black Series on vintage style card. Look wonderful. An assortment of different box toys. You got some Star Wars hologram, Kellogg's cereal boxes, books, Millennium Falcon boxed, Castle Grayskull box, the old G.I. Joe Cobra battle game, which I still need to show you on this channel sometime, Transformers collector's case, some modern Transformers, vintage carded Star Wars Kenner figures. And some vintage Masters of the Universe figures too. And G.I. Joe is there. An assortment of different G.I. Joe vehicles. There's the Air Chariot and the Swamp Fire, the Maggot. Some smaller vehicles, Destro's Demon and Despoiler and the Night Raven. And the Mamba, two of the most beautiful Cobra aircraft ever made, side by side. And what a piece of junk. It's the Millennium Falcon. And I guess it's not a little known fact that Cliff Clavin got his own figure. It's Major Durlin. We got some bagged Star Wars figures here for people who don't want to shell out the dough to get a mint on card one. And they're all very, very affordably priced. Masters of the Universe vehicles and beasts and loose figures as well. There's something here for all price points. Whether you've got a ton of money to spend or not that much, there's sure to be something here for your budget. And some more Joe stuff. Sergeant Slaughter's Triple T. Like how these are bagged. Always like when the G.I. Joe figure has the file card in the baggie with them. And some robots. You got GoBots. You don't see those very often, along with Transformers. Some giant turtles if you can't afford the giant 12-inch newer turtles. The Party Wagon. And some Cobra vehicles, the Wolf and the Chameleon. And up here we've got some Turtles figures underneath there. And an assortment of other vintage toys. A Strawberry Shortcake game and Smurf Viewmaster, $6 Million Man and Bionic Woman 12-inch dolls or action figures. And some classic Atari games. Man, I loved playing these back in the day. Genesis Flashback set. And some Sega Genesis cartridges. And not everything about the first live-action Joe movie was awful. It's the Pit from that movie's toy line, a giant rolling fortress in the spirit of the Mobile Command Center. And some more wrestling collectibles. It's Ted DiBiase's $1 Million Belt. Ooh yeah, still the greatest of all time. Yeah, dig it! An assortment of classic Hulk Hogan figures. There's the Thumb Wrestler and the Bendy and the LJNs. The Wrestling Buddy. Some glasses, some Marilyn Monroe merch, Strawberry Shortcake. And there's BA from the A-Team. I pity the fool who doesn't pick something up at this store. And here's my haul from that visit. A loose Leatherneck, who's in a little better shape than the one I had. And Big Boa, a figure I have never had, and now do. Plus the Surveillance Port. Shout out to Eric and the Surveillance Port, #1 source of G.I. Joe news, and the Super 7 Classic Style Trapjaw. So if you're in the London, Ontario area and you saw something in this video that you're interested in getting, you can still get it via curbside pickup. Just send Rob a message on his Facebook page, or come in for a visit once the lockdown has ended. Big thanks to Rob for providing us this tour of his store. Hope to see you there sometime. Until then, Nerdmaste.